everyone, and a big welcome to Spot On. This is our first interview today, and I will be your host, Miss Renee Rose, also known as Mystic Rose. And my special guest today is Kim O'Neill. She is so awesome, and I'm so happy to have her come on board today with us. We have been planning this interview for a year now, so after trial and error, we will begin. Let's bring her on, everyone. Oh, where is she? She'll be coming on in just a minute. So in the meantime, hopefully we're upright and we're working through all of our bugs today. Miss Kim O'Neill is a host of her own chat show, her own radio show, and we are so happy to have her with us for the first interview. This is going to be a lot of fun. We were practicing, and there she is. The phone dropped, so I was hoping nothing happened, right? You're all good? There she is. So let's welcome Kim O'Neill with a big spot on. Welcome. There she is. Adding, yay. Hello, welcome, Kim.
Hello.
And we're both upright. Woohoo!
My setup, because I have it perpendicular now, my setup isn't as sturdy as it was before. But so I'm just holding it a little bit, and then we should be fine.
Okay, mine too. That's why I always. That's why I always keep trying to turn it, because when I have it upright in my little stand, my new cheap stand I bought, so it's open, so the cord can go down through. So I literally have to sit it on top of the cord. So it's like this all the time. So if I bump it, the whole thing will go over too. But okay, today's fun. This is what today is about. Iron out the problem. So if we don't have any, that would be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
Totally true. Yes. Yeah. And for those watching, we thought we ironed out all these kinks ahead of time, and this still happened. So okay.
Yep.
So be it.
With a big laugh, and that's exactly what I saw. What today was about was us laughing with everyone, and it can be very, very healing just to laugh alone. And you got to have something to laugh at.
I love your energy, Renee. This is perfect to do this with you. Yeah, for anybody, wanting to know, I mean, as much as you plan for things, stuff can still creep up that you never anticipated, and being able to just be in that flow and to laugh at it and keep going is just, even that itself, I think, is therapeutic just for ourselves, because it can be so easy to be like thinking we need to do everything perfectly, right. But that's not what it's about.
No, it's really about having fun. And I learned that probably when I was about 20, when I wanted to be, a model and an actress. And I realized that it's really not about how I look. It's about who I am and what I put out there and why I'm doing it. The most important part about entertainment is really having fun. And if you're laughing the whole way through, so be it, right? My producer says I should be a stand-up comedian. I'm like, no, I'm a spiritual host.
Hey, you can do both. You can be a stand-up spiritual comedian.
Well, if everyone's laughing along the way, then I guess that's pure entertainment.
Yeah. Well, I just want to give a little shout out to, I see a friend of mine, Sue Lee, is here, and I saw someone else.
Yeah, anybody. So
I don't know if
there's. I'll look in the chat room and see what's going on. So go ahead.
And well, that was it. That was my shout out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome everyone. Amanda, hello. She's been here with us through the whole thing. We're going to be interviewing her down the road too. She has a wonderful psychic fair coming up, I think, tomorrow. So, or next Sunday, whichever one. I think it's tomorrow. So I want to give her a little promo. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of check on the chat room and everything, and maybe try to invite some people. So while I'm doing that, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? I'm so excited for everyone to know that you have your own show that you are a host and you've been doing this a long time. So, a great introduction, and then we'll go into your story.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So my show is called Every Day is a New Day, and it's inspired conversations about moving forward and choosing to embrace a positive outlook. And I currently air it live on Facebook on my page at Kim O'Neill Coaching, and O'Neill is Oneill. And then I upload it to YouTube, and I've just been having a lot of fun with it this year. It's evolved over the last
Nice.
3.5 years. And I'm just, I love the live aspect. I love being able to interact with the audience, like just like what you're doing today too. So hello to Amanda and Sue Lee and anybody else watching who wants to say hello to you. I absolutely love that part. But also, being able to connect with people who I know have interesting stories and know what are serving the world in positive, uplifting ways, and being able to support them and showcase them and provide them as a resource or a go-to person for other people who may be looking for what my guest has to offer. So, because it can be easy to think that there's nothing out there. No, there's a ton of stuff out there, a ton of people, a ton of resources, and each person puts their own unique spin on something. And I just there's always hope. So in my show, I always say, no matter where you are today, does not have to be where you are tomorrow. There's always hope. Every day is always a new day. And anyway, I'm looking forward to what the direction I'm going to go in 2019. I'm in the process of making some shifts, and so I'm having fun with it and excited for what's coming next.
Great. I love that because that's probably what I use the most when I'm trying to inspire hope for people. Because a lot of people, I've been asked about second chances. Do I believe in second chances? Of course,
Okay.
right? I mean, today all you have to do is make the decision, the intent, and use
Oh yeah.
free will to say tomorrow is going to be a better day. It's the brand new day of the rest of my life. And that's all you have to do, right? That's all you have to do. And it doesn't matter what you did. What matters is what you do.
And learning from what you did before, right? Because that everything that doesn't quite go the way we thought it was going to go provides an opportunity to learn, and that learning is seriously rich with new insight and information that's going to help us in the next thing. So that's why it's like, don't stop, don't quit. If that's something you really love and want to do more of, then you try again. You keep moving forward. And it's interesting. I love that you mentioned that you used to want to be an actress. I did too. And so just speaking to that, I remember when I was younger looking in what is it? I think it's called Backstage West. That's where they post a lot of auditions for things.
Nice.
And seeing all these audition announcements, and then I would always read other things that talk about, oh well, you have to do it within a certain age, right? Like you're at your prime when you're like late teens to mid 20s, right? Like that's the range.
Yep, that's it.
And it's like, yeah, and I actually used to believe that. I used to believe that there was a window. If there's something I want to do, there's a window of time that I'm limited to when that's the only time I can do it. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe it at all. I plan to live to be over 100. And,
Yeah.
And right?
Yeah.
And not all of my life is going to happen when I'm like, 1920. So, anyway.
Okay, well, that kind of brought up a couple different things, but I think we should just move forward and let's go into your story too, because once I start talking, so go ahead. Let's see what also you have inspired you through your story.
Absolutely. Well, I think when we think about our story, it can sometimes seem easy, right? If we've been looking at our life in only one through one filter, it can seem that we only have one story, but the more we look, we realize, oh my gosh, we've got a bunch of stories. Right. And in this moment, the story that I want to share is that I was always this person who felt very purpose driven, very passionate about wanting to be more of me, to expand, to help others. And for so long, I was very focused on there only being one way to do that. And that was the traditional, you go to school, you get a master's degree, or maybe you have to get a doctorate, and then whatever the career paths are that have already been laid out that other people are already doing, then that's what you have to do. So for many years, I was very focused on getting a master's degree and being a marriage family therapist or being a psychologist, or at one point it shifted into occupational therapy. So anyway, there were a few different routes I had considered looking, and 3 times I actually did move in that direction. 3 solid times. And it was bizarre to me because 3 times something major out of the blue happened in my life that completely took me off course.
Mm-hmm.
And by the third time, it finally sunk in, and I realized, okay, there's something off. Like this isn't supposed to happen. And I really was very crushed by it. And it was a heartbreaking moment for me. I broke down crying, home alone, crying, thinking, oh my gosh, if I can't be, an MFT, marriage family therapist, or mental health counselor, if I can't do that, then what, how am I going to be able to do what I feel called to do in this world? And that's when I started to consider, and this was about 5-6 years ago now, that's when I started to reconsider the path of coaching, which, as I'm sure you're aware, it's been a growing, evolving industry and continues to be. But even just say 5-6 years ago, it wasn't, it wasn't seen in the light that it's seen today. And the way that I view it today, it's an amazing profession. There's so many different routes you can go as a coach with, who you want to serve and what you want to focus on, which is perfect for all those people who are looking for help and support and guidance and coaching in all these various different avenues. Mm-hmm. So I really had to open up to, well, what other possibilities could there be for me doing what I feel called to do in the world? And I decided to let go of the notion. There was someone in my life at that time who had really, put the thumbs down to coaching. And I let that impact me until that moment when I realized, okay, something's got to give. Right. Maybe coaching. And so I, started to do, I'm a research oriented kind of person. So I like to still research and do a lot of things like that. And I found a program that was perfect for me because it was important for me to go to school for that. So I still kind of did things in a somewhat traditional, way, but I allowed myself to do it the way that resonated most with me. Right. And I share that story because I think a lot of people get stuck in thinking that there's only one way they can do something, and well, their current circumstances dictate that they can't. So then that's it. They can't do it. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it's not true. It really benefits us to open ourselves up to, well, what else then? And if we're really struggling to find, what those other pathways could be, start to, observe other people who are doing something similar to what you want to do, if not exactly what you want to do, right? And start to see, okay, it's not about necessarily then identically doing it the way they do it, but start to notice, what do you like about that? And, just little things. You're going to start to learn so much. So that is my story, the story of the girl who kept thinking she needed to do things a certain set way until life broke her down and she said, okay, we've got to consider some other possibilities. Mm-hmm. And that has really allowed me to move in directions that have fulfilled me so much more than trying to do things this one way, right, that I thought I had to do.
Absolutely, and that was kind of what I was going to say before. Now I know why it's good for now, because it's going right along the same path. When I started, because I'm a lot older than you, we didn't have anything called the internet. So we were in a box and we had to travel a certain little road. And if we weren't, we were right? So I've had to go through all that trying to be who I am. And then when the internet broke out, it just, in the 80s, it allowed everything to open up. The computers came out and everyone then got cell phones and then the cams, and voila, we're all live. There is no more, unplugged from the world. We are now plugged in and we can go anywhere. This is a new vortex, a new portal. And this is how light workers can jump on their spiritual mission and just do what they need to do. And I would like to suggest that anyone who's going down their path, synchronicity will come in and help you go down your path where it is best. And if you're running into blocks, it's very important to be aware of that, because it's time to maybe readjust, because we don't always know what our best potential is, but our creator does. And the creator doesn't necessarily want us or push us to do anything, right? They want
Right.
us to do what's our heart. But when we get into our heart and then we ask to do the best for the highest and best good of all, then that takes us up into a whole new realm, because the intention is sincere and loving. And that is a spiritual mission. And all we have to do is turn on Facebook Live, and we can go into YouTube now, which is taken away from all the couch potato TV watching with all the commercial and consumerism, now into YouTube, to where we can go straight and watch Kim whenever we want and hear everything she has to say and all of her guests, and this is the time to be able to do it, because we have all the tools, to really do what we want to do. And it doesn't take hardly
Yeah.
anything to make a website anymore, to just throw on your Facebook and to learn how to jump on YouTube. Anybody can do this. And so many people are on YouTube and Blog Talk Radio, or, there's just so many things. God only knows what the 2000, what is it, 2020? Okay, 2020, is going to eventually be, 219, I'm pretty sure is going to be a lot better. And I see, you're very much on target, and I'm working real hard to be on target. And part of being on target is being in the moment. That's what Spot On's about, being fully in the moment, so you can really hear and feel everything, so that you can be at the highest and best for all. And you have to really be open and aware, and that's what I love about you. You just do it, you automatically do it. You've grown and experienced and learned how to be in the moment with people. And you know how hard that is? Not many people can do that. They're on their phones or doing something, right? Because they just
It takes practice, and I definitely don't. I wouldn't say that I've got it down perfectly. I think it is multitasking, but it's also the more the more you're confident within yourself, the more flow you've got, the more grounded you are. It's so much easier,
right,
to know that, hey, anything going on here is totally fine,
right,
for me to allow my focus to shift away from here and to be on who I'm speaking with.
right.
So I think that that's really important. And there's a quote, I may not say it perfectly, but there's a quote from Abraham Hicks that I'm remembering right now as you're speaking. It's something like, you're wanting to know how to get on your path, but you've always been on your path. You really just want to know when to step on it.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes.
Because it can be easy to feel that misalignment, and to think that, oh no, things aren't happening the way that I want them to happen, which means I'm not on my path, or I'm doing things wrong or whatever. And no, like, it all serves a purpose, all of it. And if we were able to if we were able to extract ourselves from that moment and jump ahead maybe 5 years, or maybe just 1 year even, right? And look back and go, oh, that was just part of the learning process. And to know that in the moment, which is, not easier said than done, but to know that in the moment, that it can be easier to go, oh, okay, I'm doing fine. The only work then is to just, you keep going.
And that projection you put out is what I see that makes it look like you got it together, because even if you don't, I can't tell. And that's the point.
Well, thank you.
Right? That's the point. If you're in the moment and you just roll and flow, you do. You with your confidence coming out, it empowers you, and then empowerment is flowing, And when you realize you stumble, but you get back up, it's just part of the journey. So that's your learning process, and now you're able to express that and teach it to others and help them on their path. And timing is crucial.
Absolutely, yes. And it's like, no matter where we are, we will always be a work in progress. That's something I really had to start to grasp. Like, no matter what, no matter what phase of life or phase of, let's say, coaching or phase of doing a show, every phase, there's still going to be something more to work on, to improve upon. And that's that. So that's just a given. But to not let that be reason enough to stop doing what you're doing, or to think that you're not good enough, right, or this or that, unless you really sense that, okay, maybe it is time to shift gears. But if that's not the truth for you, if you're like, I really want to do this, but it's just not quite there yet, then you keep going, because it will get there. And even when you're there, there's still going to be another there to reach towards anyways.
That's right.
As long as you're living, it will be that way.
And timing happens. So because of that, we have to do everything we can, then have faith and just let it go and say, okay, when the time is right, let's do it. And we're impatient. We're so impatient. So patience is a virtue and a lifelong lesson. So we're always on the patient lesson, right? Always. Always.
I feel like, out when we're not in a physical body, so I guess let's say, when we're not alive, but which I don't know in this moment what that feels like, really, but I can imagine, and and from certain work I've done, get a sense of. But I imagine that we do get to experience immediate gratification when we're not in a physical body, and this is my take on it. So, if you think something different, please share. But I feel like, okay, part of the work while we're here in human form is, yes, learning how to manifest and learn that we are creative beings and can create our life the way that we want. But there's going to be some of that resistance because we are in a physical body, and we need to learn how to work with it, because it's not all about just being up here. It's also learning how to bring that into the physical body. So, it's head and heart. It's the metaphysical and the physical. And it's one thing I love is that they say, and I don't know who they are, but, but I'm going to go with it. They say that 1 hour of meditation is equivalent to 7 hours of just, doing physical efforting work. So the way to interpret that is that when we meditate first, did I say meditate or manifest?
Either one.
Okay, so when we meditate first, or you could think of that as when we take time to just sit and get quiet, to maybe plan out, connect with the energy of what we want, and then see that vision, and plan out what does that look like, and just kind of get a feel for what that manifestation would look like. Right. Then you put in the action work. Right? It shortens, it reduces that amount of time of feeling like you're flailing about and doing things every which way. And you still want to be easy on yourself if you find that that's part of your process. But I love knowing that. I love knowing that when we take time to meditate, get quiet, go within, connect the energy, and then put in the action work, okay, then there's more flow, and we get to experience, we get to speed up those manifestations a little more.
Right. And the not being just up in here is absolutely probably one of the big things going on right now, because we have two different kinds of advancement. You're either going from above or you're going from below. And so from above are all the spiritual awakened people that are trying to survive on this planet, which is hard. So we are constantly grounding our feet into the earth. Well, now that the veil is shifted and changed, a lot of us are planting our feet firmly and ready to roll like we've never done before, and everybody else who has their feet firmly planted in the ground and have been manifesting and producing materialism realize that it's not making them happy like they thought. And so the wisdom brings it into their heart of being happy, and then their head tells them, okay, we got to do something more. And all of a sudden, the more in touch with their heart, they can open up their crown, and all of a sudden they're starting to open and advance and be aware that they're a creative source, and all of the abilities that they've been blessed with, that they just said, whatever, like intuition. Everybody blows off their intuition because they don't think they're right. Not me. Well, my intuition's been talking since day one, and it's 100% right all the time. And that's not ego. That's my intuition.
That's awesome.
It pushes me all the time, makes me do this, makes me talk to people, makes me help people, because I don't doubt it, and then I got to do something about it, right? I have to act on it, and I wait for permission, but it is if you're there, you're going to be fully on your mission, and it's what, it's very enlightening, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy, and I'm right now. I don't have a whole lot, but you know what? I love every little bit that I have. And I have
It's
you.
important.
I have the love of you and my friends and the spiritual extension of the conscious collective. Um, that's way better than lots and lots of money. I mean, money's okay. It's just a tool, to help us get to another place. But spiritually awakening really opens your heart to happiness. I mean, ultimately, it's happiness.
I think it's about, I love that you acknowledge that, because I do think that in many ways, I'll just say everyone. I tend to not like to generalize, but for the sake of this, everyone in some form is experiencing the same thing, but it may be happening in a different way. So it may be a matter of learning how to ground more, or it may be a matter of learning how to open up your heart more.
Mm-hmm.
Either one is going to support a person in having more flow in their life, finding it easier to be easier on themselves, finding it easier to accept others around them,
Mm-hmm.
finding it easier to just enjoy life and accept things the way that they are now, knowing that in that space, that actually opens the door for more. So I really feel like that's what it's about. It's about doing what your personal work is for each person, so that they can be in that flow. Everyone deserves to be in that flow, to receive that, to feel that. And it's a matter, I mean, I really believe for so many years, I knew that something was quite off and I didn't quite know what. And so then eventually I just started saying, okay, God, please guide me, and then eventually it was like angels guide me, and then universe. And so whatever term you use, whoever you speak to, you don't have to know how, right? Even if I know some people say, well, how do you meditate? Don't even stress about the how. Just start trying. I mean, I feel like, and I use that word, and every time I use that word, I hear those people who say, don't try, do. You know what? Trying is the start. So you start with trying.
Right? Trying. We should put try on the start line, right? Because that really is
exactly
starting.
Yeah. So, because you may not know how to do, but if you just try something, it can help open that gateway for you to get there. So, we can put judgment on like anything and everything. So sometimes I get caught up here because I start going, oh wait, no, don't use that word, use this word, don't you? So anyway, all about the flow though. Right. So I think there's something else I want to say. Maybe it'll come back to me.
That's okay. So much is flowing. My eyes are just going. It happens every time when that spirit's flowing. The fluids get flowing. It literally is all flowing. So we're right on. We're right on target here. And that is probably the important message, the most important message here for everyone out there, because they don't know in hindsight. Right? It's 2020, so we know because we're happy.
I was, yes, Renee, yes. Okay, I was just telling someone this morning. Like, if someone were to look at my life from the outside in, like not like someone who's literally here in my home, okay, right, then in some ways I can see someone going like, oh, what? No, you like looking at what they don't see, actually, right? So then you're not really looking at it, right? Assuming there should be something more and focusing on that. That's what I could see someone else doing. And that's what I know I used to do as well. However, I've noticed recently that I've been able to actually tip the scales, and I feel so much joy. I feel so much more ease and excitement for things in my life, because, and I had to identify, I said, okay, what shifted? How did I get to this place despite how I could choose to focus on other things, right? And I realize it's because, for me, I love this quote. I think it's a Joseph Campbell quote, and it's follow your bliss.
Right.
And about a year ago, I mean, I feel like in many ways I've been on that, moving in that direction. But specifically about a year ago, I made some huge shifts where I said no to what may have seemed like the sensible thing. And I decided to say yes to me. So I quit one job so I could start to do more of the work that I love. And I've noticed that from there, I mean, I could just continue to do things that fill me up, that I enjoy, connect to people who are like-minded, and learn, and all of these things. And I really think that at the moment I'm in a space of all of that has accumulated, and because I continue to, and I'm not perfect, so this isn't like you have to do things perfectly, but I've just noticed that, over the long term, I'm noticing things have built up. It's easier for me to connect to that energy. It's easier for me to have a flow going and to be in that space despite how things may look on the outside. And I love it. I know that this moment is temporary. Every moment is temporary.
Right.
And that's why it's beautiful to enjoy it and appreciate it as it is. And so, yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yes. So we and you are a beautiful example for others because we've reached our happiness. And so that's what we can share with others because so many have not. And that's why we as coaches are trying to help people change their mindsets to more positive, enlightened points of view because thought, word, and deed mattered. So everything matters. Sorry, that what we say and do. So if you do your inner work and you do understand what's capable inside your heart, then you can learn who you are. And that's probably the most important thing to be able to share with others. Because once you define yourself or you see yourself, that's the big thing. See your soul as your spirit really is. Like, most of us would bow down to our own selves if we really could understand that. And most can't. So the best way to do it is to see it in somebody else. It's absolutely wonderful. And if you don't know how to do it, I suggest that the first start is to learn what you don't like. Just like you were saying,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to be spiritual. It's okay to say no. A lot of us who really want to be accepted and be liked, will do and say what we think is appropriate sometimes. And after a while, you start to learn that if it's not true to your heart, that it doesn't work out. So once you know what's not good for you and what is good for you, then you can focus on what's good for you and express it to others, and it'll be good for them because it's flowing all with the love and the good. But you have to learn that, right? You don't just start off knowing that. None of us do. We don't know who we are until we look at ourselves. And then once we love ourselves, we can turn around and love others, but mostly we can allow them to love us too. And then the circle and cycle of life is flowing, right? And that's what you and I want for everybody. That's what we want for everyone to be able to feel that, because wouldn't this be a wonderful world? And we're humans. Every one of you are allowed to fail. It's okay. Your spirit is the perfect part. The human is not. So as you're learning through human imperfection, you see your spiritual perfection. And then you can be really empowered and confident. And that also brings happiness, doesn't it? Everything is our own self-fulfilling, self-empowerment journey to our heart, which is the creator in the center. And what is that? Love, light, and truth. And that's what everyone has been professing who's found that. Remember the 70s love children, flower children, and they were such hippies and so bad. Well, guess what? We're all older now. And we're the ones that are telling you still you need to open your heart and love. And that's all there is, because otherwise it's fear. And fear has controlled us for so long. And what's awesome now is it just doesn't have the power anymore. So when we say open your heart and fill yourself with love and express it, it's the only way to be now. it will take you to your spiritual journey. It is the only way, and there is no fear with love. So that's the hard part, right? Is to get through fear and learn who you are. And then you get to sit in the spot where you and I are and start turning around and helping people. That's why there's illnesses and so much tragedy and things that are happening, because as you learn how to deal with it yourself, you can then turn around and be the teacher. Because ultimately, we will all teach what we've learned, right? And that's part of the
I think
part.
what I love, there's this visual. I think it first came from a GIF or something like that, but I love this visual of, there's okay, so I see multiple people floating up, but as they float up, they turn back around and they put a hand down to help lift up the next person. And as that person's floating up, they turn around and put their hand back and lift up the next person. And so, you know,
I love
it's just an ongoing journey, right? There's always going to be someone. We could put this in the context of there's always going to be someone better out there than you, which doesn't mean to stop doing what what you can do, to not put yourself out there, right? So like I could look at myself and go, well, there's better podcasters out there, right? Or there's people who do things in a way that, gosh, I'm still working on improving in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to stop me from doing what I do now? Absolutely not.
No, because
and does that take away from
you're going to say something
exactly
different. You're different from them. So what you have to say and bring to the table's your thing.
exactly? And I'm just using myself as an example because I think this applies to everyone.
Right.
And so if there's anybody watching this who's thinking whatever it is that you've wanted to do for so long but still haven't done for whatever reason, right? And it might seem like the obvious answer is, well, because of current circumstances or this or that.
Change.
Those eventually
People are afraid of change. Yes.
Of change, yeah, right. But a lot of it comes down to first just choosing to say yes to yourself, right? So you may not know how things are going to change. I think this is what I wanted to get back and say earlier is
Perfect.
it's not about having to know how. You just simply start to say, okay, I'm open, or show me the way. I said that for such a long time, and then over the years stuff was happening and I didn't even realize it because it was like on a day-to-day basis, right? We don't see all those changes on a daily basis, but then years down the road we go, oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Like I've been receiving the help or the guidance, the assistance, the resources, the clarity. I've been given those. I've been receiving them, and I've actually done something with it, right? By making a choice to sign up for this program, or to just go ahead and start to tell people you can help them in whatever way is unique to you, or just to, like you said, turn on your life and do your show the way that you want to do your show. It's every single choice we make is a yes to something. And is it a yes to what we really want, what we really desire, or is it a yes to something else? And we get to choose. So, yeah.
I get so much while I'm listening to you, and I don't want to interrupt you, and then you stop. I'm like, oh no, it all goes away, right? But it's okay because as we're flowing, it's like really awesome. And so this has been very inspirational, isn't it? Because our intent is to help people, so that's what comes out, right? Is how can we?
Yes. Okay. So I'm stopping myself for a moment.
Okay.
Yes, it is inspirational, but I would love for those listening, how is this impacting you? What are you taking away from it? How is it meeting you where you are in this moment? Would love to know that and see that, because I know for me, a lot of it is just knowing that I have to share.
Right.
And I have to do it in my own unique way. And so that's where I find my most joy. But it's really awesome to know when it's actually made a difference for someone and actually spoke to them on a level that maybe they were needing to hear something that was said. And anyway, so I wanted to say that.
Yeah, one of the things, like, when you were talking, that was what I was thinking, that you do it your way and it's right for you. And you put all this energy out. You didn't wait. You just went for it. And then you drew the line of faith and had hope and just then kept moving on. So if you had stopped and waited for your results to see those results, you wouldn't have continued the flow. And so when you did, you started to notice afterwards, you stopped long enough to look back and go, oh, I got those things. Oh, they were coming, and they happened. And then, then you go into gratefulness, right? Oh, thank God.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I'm so glad. And it's working. I'm going to keep going. Because if you wait for it, then it's like a fear thing again. There is no perfection. So you're human and we're allowed to fail, which means we just keep going, and you just can't let that fear block you. And when waiting for the results, if you're so wrapped up in your results, it's like they don't have a way to manifest because you're blocking them with, oh, I got to control this situation, right? And if you're in your flow,
Right.
you can be in the moment, you can
Yeah.
allow it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, important to be detached.
Absolutely.
So, you start with the vision. You start with the vision, you start with the essence and the feeling and all of that. And certainly you can continue to, every day, have that vision again. But it's really the essence of it that's what you're attached to. The vision can morph and can evolve. And if you allow it to, if you're not so fixated on it, it has to look one way, then that's when the universe can actually give us something even better.
Absolutely.
So I've found that's, for some of us who get caught up here sometimes, that can take some extra work to like, oh, what does the being attached to the vision even mean for me, right? And so learning to become more aware and in tune of what my emotions are and what the essence is, and then paying attention to how the universe is reflecting that back to me in ways that I never would have anticipated. Could be subtle little things, could be a sign on the side of the road, could be a comment that I heard from the people standing in line in front of me of something.
Yes.
All, right?
Right.
And knowing that, okay, you'll start to see, how these things are lining up and helping you steer your ship and where you're going. And yeah.
It's synchronicity. You're allowing synchronicity to happen. You're allowing the timing, the being the right person, the right place at the right time, and allowing for that to happen because you're not in fear. You're in love, and you're in the moment, and you have faith that it's going to happen, and you hope that everything's going to be better, and you wait for the right time. You have patience, and the timing falls out, and voila, it's almost always better than we had hoped, right? Because when you allow spirit and the universe to get involved, and God, they see much bigger than we do. They see the much bigger picture.
Absolutely. And something that I think is also important to note is that sometimes when we know, okay, I've been doing that work, and I've been, staying positive, and I've been, meditating and doing things that are going to help you stay of a high vibration and uplifted, and yet you're still not quite seeing the results that you were looking for, then maybe it's time. You're doing a great job with the energy work, the emotions and all of that sort of alignment, but maybe it's time to actually shift your focus and go spend some time with a hobby, take up a new hobby so that the universe can continue to do what it's doing behind the scenes. Just because you don't see it yet does not mean it's not happening. Allow them to do their work. You continue to do that energy vibration work, visualize, do all that kind of stuff, and then do something that you enjoy. So actually, on that note, I recently, I actually crocheted this recently.
Oh, wow. Nice. Good job. Yay!
Thank you.
Really good. You did something with that's hard too, with crocheting, but that's exactly what I was going to say. You're just spot on that. It is so important to be diligent and do what you can do, but then draw that line and say, okay, I've done everything I can do. Now I let it out to you. I'm not controlling. I surrender to you, and I allow you to bring this to me the best way I can. And it happens, right?
Yeah, it's a partnership with, it's a partnership with, again, whatever term you use, God, the universe, the divine. It's a partnership. So it was always, you and them, him, whoever that is. But yes, I agree. Like, I feel like those moments when you're like, wait, but I'm not saying it yet, I'm not saying it yet,
Right.
then that's can be another like hint, reminder to say, oh, I need to give up even more control.
Right.
Like this is beyond what I know how to do, right? Because if I knew how to do it, then I would have already done it.
Oh,
So if there's something more you're looking for and you're doing as much as you can, then maybe it's time to notice, wait a second, I've got a little too much attachment, a little too much. I'm trying to control the timing of this. So I choose to surrender even more and say, okay, I know you've got my back. I know you're doing your work, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm going to be easy on you. I'm not going to micromanage you or try to, because I couldn't even if I wanted to.
right.
But I'm going to shift my focus. And I'm going to crochet a massive shawl, or I'm going to.
Yep. Time to take a powder, take a shower, take a bath, right? Take a powder, go out and take a vacation. Because that's what I was trying to say, that you, when you're done with your work, you draw the line of faith and you go and have fun then it's time for you to celebrate. It's time for you to enjoy yourself, because while the universe is working, you're having fun and enjoying yourself and going, okay, it's time for me. And the universe is like, okay, give her more, give her more, give her more, you know? And it's like you're in the shower, you're just laying in the bath going, oh, and that's your time to be happy and grateful because you've done all your work. And then you can sit there and know that you deserve the outcome, not control it. Just know that you deserve it and that you're grateful for it because you know it's coming even before it has, because you know it will.
Yes. 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 And I think the other added benefit to that, I mean, if you want to look at it from another perspective, is this is your life.
Right.
Your life is now in this moment. And so do we want to allow, years to go by, or maybe it's just a matter of months, but do you want to allow any amount of time to go by where the focus is solely on it hasn't happened yet, it hasn't happened yet, it hasn't happened yet? When you can also choose, because we always have choice, we can also choose to say, okay, I've done the work, it's coming,
Right.
and I'm going to have fun in the meantime. I'm going to, maybe I need to try something new or connect with more, friends and family or whoever it is. But
Ziplining.
it's, yeah.
Travel to another country real quick and come back, Yeah.
There you go. That sounds awesome.
Spiritually, sometimes just, taking the time out to actually meditate, actually go in your heart, because you can travel inside as well as outside. And it's just a matter of releasing and letting go. I think that's that fine line for that manifestation, because you have to feel it, see it, and enjoy it. Well, if you're just trying to control it and you're grumpily going on to the next project, you're not in the moment and you're not enjoying and you're not grateful, and then it doesn't happen. And it's like, well, what happened? I did the work, but then I didn't do the celebration, because we miss it. We're so impatient and moving fast and doing so many things, especially people that are, real generators. They're just constantly going. They're the ones that have to be told to stop. Each time it's done, stop and go take a bath. Go have some fun, and not be crazy. Well, I guess if you have to, but it's just a matter of shifting. It helps you shift out of work mode and go into happy, us mode, and allow to receive all the benefits of what we worked so hard because we deserve it. And then right, the knowing comes in.
I think the other thing that starts to come through when you're in this process of manifesting something specific into your life, or just something better, is that my train of thought, come back, is that life, yeah, thank you, okay, I got it back. So is that not everything about life is about that next manifestation. So there's nothing wrong with deliberately creating, okay, I want this and this and this and this and this in my life. Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But that's not all it is, right, either. Right? And this brings us to the whole concept, and everyone's heard this by now, of the power of now.
Right.
Being in the present moment. There's more to life than, oh, I need to do. How about just be? How about literally just go for a walk wherever you live and enjoy the fact that you get to be outside. Right. You get to smell clean air, hopefully. You get to, look at beautiful flowers. You get to experience sunshine, or maybe it's rain, it's like, these are all experiences and none of them are permanent. So how can you enjoy that experience in that moment, knowing that even that is temporary, and has information. Everything to me has information for us if we
Right.
choose to extract it. And
I
so that, to me, that's how it all comes full circle. We are amazing, powerful, creative beings, and yet we can also just understand the value of being in now and being present and loving and enjoying. And I think that perpetuates the whole cycle.
and that is spot on. Woohoo! Spot on.
Woohoo!
That's what we're about right there. That's it. I mean, you just defined it perfectly. And it's simple. It's just simple happiness. It's just that's it. To me, that's number one.
You know what? Let me. Okay, two things. So as I was doing that, I realized that's right. Behind you, you've got this big circle. I love, but also, so here's, so it is simple, and yet I think when we're in that process of learning about all these things about ourselves, about how to work with energy, how to manifest, how to be deliberate creators, and all of that stuff, it gets incredibly complex
Yeah.
because it could be because we're up here,
Okay.
but also because we're learning how to undo
Right.
all that stuff that we
Yes. Yeah.
were attached to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's that whole that all that undoing, and the more that we unravel, the more that we dismantle, I'm loving that word these days,
Yeah.
the more that we dismantle and allow parts of ourselves to emerge more or come into even more alignment, to just be, to exist, to be seen, to be heard, all of that, that's when it starts to sink in that, oh, this really is simple. It's just I couldn't see it before because I had all that undoing to do.
Right. Yeah, unraveling and dismantling, because the more tapes you have in you, the harder it is, the more you have to work, and the more that is in our DNA, because there's so much in our DNA that from past generations that we're not even aware of. But thank goodness that we have been the light workers have been so much more empowered that we can help take away all that by starting new, and we are helping to release those tapes. But everybody being born now is, oh god, they have everything to their advantage. I mean, the babies, just the babies, look at all the things that the babies have now that 30 years ago when I had mine, the compared, it's like they got all the fun stuff, all the good stuff. And now they've got us, the hipsters, to make sure that they have a spiritual planet to evolve on. And so we can take our planet to a much higher level with our children. I mean, a lot of the old ways are dying off, and some things we just can't change. We have to wait, and and look at it now. We're almost getting to 2020, and I guarantee you, 2020 is not going to look like anything before the 2000. I mean, the 1900s are like crazy to us right now, right? I mean, we're just nothing like that. But imagine
Right.
20 years from now, you and I will be like, remember when we did that first interview? And look how much has changed. So I'm really hopeful for our future and our future generations, because they have it the best. And I hope that they can be grateful of all the hard work for the pioneers before them that allowed for this for them.
I think they will be, and I also think, because I know it can be easy to fall into this space of, because I've done this for myself and I've heard other people do it too. It can be easy to fall into the space of, oh, I had it harder, and these other people have it easier, and I'm behind schedule, right? And other people, they have it easier because they get to do some of these things earlier on in their life.
Right.
I honestly think everything is happening at the perfect time. You've got the people who've, yes, lived all the those other previous generations who have that experience and that history,
Mm-hmm.
and it's perfect timing for them because how much they can share with
Oh, we're
those that are
losing you.
younger. Uh-oh. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We lost you there.
All right, am I here now? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
There you are. There you are. There you are. We just lost you for a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was just saying that I
Def-
think it's all in perfect timing.
yeah,
Huh?
definitions. You were talking about like defining yourself. I think that's why they're still in their definition state, right? They're still defining themselves. People who've gone through tragedies and problems, they're letting things define them, right? Until they learn to define themselves. Oh, you froze again.
Oh goodness. I don't know where,
There you are.
can you hear me?
Did you hear
Can you hear
me?
me? I did a little bit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay, there we go. Angels in. Bring angels in. Clear all the energy out. Clear the internet. There we go. Okay. Please allow Kim to speak because what she has to say is very important. Please. Thank you. Okay. All yours.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. What I was saying is that everything's happening in perfect timing.
Yes.
That the younger generation and the older generations are a match to be teaching each other things in this moment. Nobody is behind schedule. Nobody is late to the party. You know, we could even say nobody is a late bloomer.
Right.
It's all happening at the perfect time right now. And I think that we're all, we're all puzzle pieces to the same puzzle. So
Right.
it's beautiful, and the only real choice, first choice we have is to just say, okay, am I going to be on board or not? And I think the biggest gift you can give to yourself is say, yes, I'm on board. I choose me. I'm gonna move in the direction that calls me, whether it makes sense or not, and allow yourself to have that.
And it's not necessarily ego, it's following your heart. And because I think people
Oh,
caught up in their ego, oh, I can't do that. Oh yes, it
oh,
is important to follow your heart. It's extremely important. It's not ego, it's your heart. Yep. And you're absolutely right with what you said with the young and the older. That was the old traditions. That's the way we used to do. We used to have our elders raising our children.
wow. I just, to me, the best way is to follow your heart, because it's, first off, it's a gift you give yourself, but by giving that to yourself, you are in service to other people.
Absolutely.
When you're not, yeah, when you're cutting off a portion of yourself, when you're not saying yes to yourself, when you're saying, I have to do things this one way, I can't stand it, I hate it, but I'm going to keep doing it because that's what they tell me I'm supposed to do. That's what I was taught when I was a kid.
Right.
Then you're doing a disservice to yourself and others. So I don't see it as an ego thing at all, saying yes to yourself. I understand how someone might have to make that shift of
Right.
thinking that they're being too selfish.
Right.
But I think the more we all see that, well, when one person shines, that actually helps other people.
Right. Oh God, that's
Yeah,
awesome. That right there, that did you feel the power in those words? That was awesome.
I
Yeah, that was powerful. Very powerful.
okay,
Awesome. I
well,
love
good.
it. I love it. So, why don't you tell our guests now how they can reach you, all the different wonderful things you're doing to help people, and how they can find you, and how they can jump on board with you and allow you to help enlighten them with your ways because, Kim, you're special and you resonate with the people you're supposed to resonate with. And I hope that many from my group come over and come talk to you and help love and support you because I love to
Oh,
collaborate. I am not into competition at all because I have people who resonate with me. You have people that resonate with you, and we have a lot that resonate with the both of us, and we have a huge soul family. And that's what we're doing. We're uniting. So let them know how they can jump on board with you.
well, thank you for saying that, Renee, and I completely agree with that. And that's also evidence of having an abundant mindset, because the other way of, oh, competition, that's more of a lack mindset. And I think we're done with that. We're done with that. No,
Yes.
I can win, you can win,
We
Amanda can win, Madeline can win, Sulie can win, Jack can win, everyone who's been here, we all get to be winners. And so, okay, so yes, so I know I didn't say this at the start. I do personal empowerment and interview confidence coaching. So I help people, it's two separate things. I help people prepare for pre-employment interviews or podcast interviews, but I also simply help heart-centered professionals embrace and own the truest version of themselves so they can stand confidently in their power regardless of what's happening around them.
Right.
And I shared a little bit about how I connect to that today in my story. But I have so much, of my own journey has been about learning how to do that. And so I absolutely love supporting others and coaching them through that. And I do energy work as well. And I won't get into all the nitty gritty stuff, but that's really a lot of what I do with people is help them to release what's no longer serving them, knowing that it's completely safe space to do that. And then also, embrace and really step into the possibilities of what they desire next in their life, whatever that looks like. And so for those people who really put their heart into, the life that they live, the work that they do, feel that connection to being passionate and purpose driven. And if you're feeling some sort of block, whether you know what that is or not, but things just aren't quite flowing in the right direction, or you're experiencing other energies around you that are just overpowering you, and so you feel like that gets in the way of you being able to really do what you want to do, then that's where I come in, because I really can help support them in clearing that out, bridging that gap between head and heart, and being able to stand more confidently in their power and move forward in that direction that they want to go. So
Awesome.
So yes, so I invite anybody who would like to connect with me, have a free consultation. They can go to kimoneillcoaching.com, and on the homepage, just scroll down a little bit. There's a link to book a free consultation, and we can just talk. We can just talk and find out what's going on with you, how I can best support you, and if we have time, we might even do a little guided meditation, all for free.
Nice.
And I certainly welcome that.
Ah, that's so awesome. See what a wonderful coach you are. And that's why, it all worked out, didn't it? Look at you now, baby. Look at you now.
Oh, I love you, Renee.
You're supposed to, and I think you got a whole lot more ahead of you as well, because enlightened love like that is going to flourish. It's just no doubt. So let's do this. After we're done, let's put all of our links, because we were working on so much just trying to get it started. I didn't put anything in my description. So I will go back and I'll fill up the description with everything. And why don't you go ahead and put in any links? I already have some, on your spot on event.
Okay.
But we'll add some more right to this video, because this video is going to go over to YouTube. So anything that you want, just, send it to me and I'll add it to this later. So anybody who's watching this now or later, you'll be able to go to the links and you'll be able to get to Miss Kim O'Neill. And I think I've been spelling your name wrong.
Oh, you know what? It is 2 L's. So it's, yes. So Kim O'Neill Coaching. O'Neill is Oneill.
2 L's. Yep. See, I did. I've been spelling it wrong the whole time. Silly me.
Okay.
So, is there anything else? Maybe, since you can see everybody on there, was there anybody that asked a question or would like to ask a question, maybe that you might want to answer, or was it pretty people?
I don't see any questions, but I know we said hello to Amanda. I hope Amanda's still here. And hello to Madeline. She commented saying that she was here from Australia.
Okay.
So, yeah, awesome to see you here, Madeline. And to Sue Lee, who I know has also been here with us. She's from England.
Nice.
And just so grateful for those who've been able to join us live, as well as on the replay.
That's right, because we're going to have a lot of replay people, definitely, because this is the first one, and and it's all going to gain momentum. But so all of you that are coming afterwards, thank you for coming. We hope you enjoyed all of this and found it entertaining as well. We've been happy and laughing the whole time. And it was absolutely wonderful. And I think we're pretty good, but if there's anything else you can think of that we need to add.
Oh, no. Well, okay. One thing I was looking through, I have one of those like little desk calendars, And this one, it was actually given to me by a friend. It's called BU. It's like the BU desk calendar. Anyway, yesterday's, I loved this quote. When we lose the right to be different, we lose the right to be free. And that's by Charles Evans Hughes. And yeah, I just wanted to say that because I completely agree. Your difference, you're unique, and I'm speaking to whoever's watching. That's what makes you beautiful and allows you to be free. So the more you can say yes to those areas of yourself that you might have been thinking you needed to tone down or to just completely close off and not show anybody, or maybe just show a small number of people. I mean, you get to choose to what degree you allow it to breathe. Allow it to breathe, but know that you're also consciously closing it off, then that's restricting you in some form. And you deserve more than that. You deserve to be free.
And our youth, unfortunately, with the cyberbullying and everything, has gone to another degree. Is pounding people down, to not be themselves. So when they can get out and explore on the internet and find people like us telling them, "Hey, you're different for a reason. Embrace it." And those people that don't like you, that don't understand you, that criticize you or bully you or put you down, they're not your tribe. Your tribe is the loving, supportive ones. It doesn't have to be your family. It doesn't have to be your friends. It doesn't have to be anything, or even your neighbors. Sometimes when you jump on the internet, you find your tribe out all around the world. And it doesn't, we're not talking necessarily spiritual. We're talking be yourself. And nowadays, I mean, think about it. 50 years ago, we couldn't even gather as a metaphysical group. Okay, and nobody could express their sexuality. Oh my God. And we are free to be us, even if it's not human. I mean, we could even be an alien, for God's sake. Why not? Wait until they show up. Wait till the dragons show up. Wait till the aliens show up. And then find out how unique we really are. Because when we start comparing ourselves to aliens, as a human race, we're all one. Right? We are all one, and we are unique. That makes us this wonderful planet. And when we jump up to that next level, the ones that are empowered by their own uniqueness are the forerunners.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Renee, that could be a whole other hour conversation for us to have too, but I completely agree. It can be very easy to think that, any one person with their uniqueness, if they're not seeing anybody else outside of them with that same uniqueness, to think that they're wrong in some way or they're bad, right? Or put some sort of negative label on it. And honestly, my perspective of it is no, that person, they're actually truly a gift to everyone around them. But the first step is they have to actually see that in themselves first. Right. Mm-hmm. They in many ways, I think, are the key to unlocking, helping other people unlock what's happening within them, because we all have things that we might feel oh gosh, I don't want to show people this or that. We all have that on some level. We may not see it in everybody else like we see it in ourselves, but that's just it. It's not about anyone else outside of you changing first. It's about you owning and embracing it first. And one of the best ways, like you said, is to connect with who are your like-minded people, who is your tribe. Right. And if you don't see them anywhere, start to search for them. That's right. Find them. Mm-hmm. You can even just put the intention out there. Okay, I'm ready to connect with like-minded people. I'm ready to connect with a positive, supportive, group of people who are going to appreciate me, that I can appreciate back, right? And through that, it becomes easier to accept and see how your uniqueness is freaking amazing. Right. And so worthy of love and appreciation. Yeah.
You and I have already gone through that. That was long time ago, and yet we're still, tapping into it, right? It's a lifelong journey. But we can tell everyone that we've been through it. That's why we can tell you this. We know it's all part of the journey. Everything is perfect. And I heard that when I was 20, and I'm like, what? No way! And it took me till almost 40 to even begin to understand how life is perfect. It's like, we're not perfect. No, the synchronicity of spirit is. So humans were allowed to feel, but synchronicity is perfection. And it took a long time. And it's something, these things we're talking about are so simple, but they are the first big, huge steps for people awakening.
They're huge. And let me also add, because I just turned 40 this year. And for many, many years, because I felt very purpose driven ever since I was about 5. And so I kept expecting things to evolve way earlier on in my life. And something that I think is really key to understand is that as things happen, it's happening in perfect timing. If we didn't have all that period of being frustrated and having to go through the muck of whatever your unique situations are, then you wouldn't actually have all that you have now in this moment. Like, it all served a purpose, and it's all happening in perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, so in a conversation with someone earlier too, just that reminder about, you don't want to birth a baby at 5 months.
No.
It's not ready at 5 months. It's ready at the 9-10 month, like that range. It's ready at that time.
Right.
And so I think that just it's helpful for us to remind ourselves about that too.
Right.
And we may not know what that timing is.
That's right.
That's why you keep going. Don't
Right.
stop. If there's something you really feel called to do, then you just keep going.
Because you're learning, it's a
And
learning process, right? That's what the 9 months are about. It gives you nine
yep.
whole months to be prepared to become a parent. It's the most important thing in your whole life. And there's no book. There's no rules. You just have to love the child the best way you can unconditionally. There's no rules. And it takes you 9 months to prepare for understanding. Ah! I just got to do what I
And even if we think about it, 9 months, that's actually a relatively short amount of time. So, and I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Human,
then,
yeah.
for the rest of your life to be a parent, you only 9 months. What? Right? So that's the whole thing about hindsight is 2020, because once you do accomplish whatever that thing is that you're working towards, and then you can look back and go, oh wow, and maybe not immediately. It might takes another amount of chunk of time to pass before you can really see it, but to then look back and go, oh, okay, wow, well, I accomplished that by age 27, and I accomplished that other thing when I was 39.
Right.
Wow, that's really great. Like, give yourself a pat on the back for what you have accomplished. Everything counts. Accomplish the ability to actually start saying no to people. Accomplish the ability to actually start forgiving other people and yourself. Accomplish the ability to actually prioritize your sleep over something else that maybe takes up your time. Whatever it is, every single one of those is worthy of, like, good job, kudos to you, you're doing fantastic.
Exactly. And then the universe will do the universe or God will respond. If as you're doing it, if you're open and aware to it, you will get your responses as you're going, as well as your body. Like when you tell your body you love it, it responds and goes, "Oh, I love you back." When you're open to hearing that, that's how you finally connected with your body and your body is responding. And that's the same with the universe or God. You open that communication up with them, and it comes back. And most people still don't understand that or believe in it. So you and I are here to tell them that it is the truth. It is very much the truth. It's so important.
It's very important.
I feel it. It's fun. It's almost 5 o'clock, so we are pretty good, I think, right? That was so awesome. I had so much fun, and I am so glad that you were my first interview. Hey, thank you so much. I just love you. Thank you for coming on, and I would love to have you come back again. There's so much in your life going on, so when the time is right, I would love to have you back. And afterwards, everybody, thank you for the audience.
Thank you, Renee.
Coming, and thank you, Kim, very much. And everybody, please love. Oh, there's Amanda. She's still here. Thank you, Amanda. Everybody, please love and support Kim on her beautiful spiritual journey. She has the biggest heart I've seen, and she's so smart. So if you need any help, especially with connecting with yourself in any way, shape, or form, please seek her out. She will listen to you. Not many people will listen. She will listen to you. And that's so important to have someone hear us. And then she'll help you get clear and help you on your journey. So I am so glad that I can introduce you to everyone, and I hope that um, lovingly people can connect with you. So we're opening that channel right now to allow people to access Kim. So I love you and everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you,
Love
Kim.
you. Thank
And
you.
woohoo, Spot On's going now. Woohoo! Kudos for all the new people coming, and thank you, Kim. You were so awesome, and I can't wait to have you back again.
Thank you, Renee. Great job. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for the honor of being your first guest.
You're welcome. Thank you. You take care. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
See you later. I hope you all enjoyed this. See you later now. Bye bye.